Looked like my daughter back there. Denver Broncos, Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Very good. I just want to start off. This is going to be a Bills preview in Denver Broncos, the game today on Saturday. But I just want to say this, that, we're getting some new people coming in, and I've never once asked anybody to subscribe. Never do that. And on my homepage, I got a song by Neil Young. It says, "This note's for you." This channel will never, ever, ever, be a commercial channel. I'm not doing this for Pepsi. I'm not doing this for Coke. I'm not doing it for DraftKings. These podcasts are for you. And now, if what you want, if you want just what's in the bubble, you can go into Sports Talk Radio. If you have no idea who Jordan Phillips was or is, and Casey is all you know. Casey is your world. All this, Matt Stafford is your world. That's all you know. The offensive line is the best in the world. This little bubble, okay? If you want the little bubble, you can always go back into the little bubble. There's plenty of that. These little bubbles. We go way outside. We encourage other people to go way outside. And the point is, what I want for the Denver Broncos, I don't care about 10-6. I don't want none of this James Marilat bullshit. What I want for the Broncos, and I hope other fans do, is I want them to be that team, like the Patriots were, like Kansas City is. Not just happy to be there. Oh, I'm happy I'm at 10-6. I'm so happy. That's not good enough. You want your team to be that team, the way Pat Bowlen did. We're that team coming to your town. So with that, that's my little disclaimer. Oh, by the way, if there's ever a commercial on my platform, I want to be told about it. I will legally go after YouTube. When I say no, I mean no friggin' commercials. That's why we have the freedom and the flexibility to say what we're saying. We're not tied to anything. Whether it pisses you off or you like to hear it, the fact is we're going to say it. It needs to be said, right, wrong, or indifferent. Hit it.
Can I piggyback off that point just real quick, and we can talk about the Bills? Okay. So to piggyback off that point, I'm doing this out of the respect for you and you guys. I'm trying to give you guys, when I watch the All 22, I've been a Bronco fan all my life, and I lived under the greatness under Pat Bowlen the few years that he had left. So I know how this team operates when they have a good owner in place. Okay, we are so crap now that the stuff that John Elway has gone away with. This is why we do this channel, is because
not what the bubble said. Bubble said this offense, we're just a quarterback away from championship.
Yeah. The bubble said that we're Chief fans.
And here's the thing I thought was funny. Just yesterday, yesterday, Sports Talk Radio was spending like 15 minutes talking about the Raiders. I've never talked about, outside of, game film. I've never talked about the Raiders or the Chiefs outside of the context of the Broncos playing them. They spend more time talking about it.
Exactly.
Do those people hold them accountable? No.
Exactly. And I also want to bring a point, not to toot my own horn here, but if I'm putting out bullshit, he'll be the first one to tell you. And if I'm putting out bullshit, I'll be the first one to tell you, okay? If I was putting out bullshit, I wouldn't have said pull the guard when they're running the freaking ball. That's why they've had.
Well, we've been talking about that all. We've been talking about that all along.
Yes. So that's all I had to talk about.
That's why I said, Colby. I was breaking down that film. I said, here's something Colby will like. They take out the runner. Jesus. Yeah. What took you till week 13 to figure that one out?
Exactly. It took you till week 13 to get blown out by these other teams for you to understand that you and your little bubble.
The bubble didn't talk about that.
You and you feel-good fans. About that. Yes. You and you feel-good fans like to be in this little, Casey. Okay.
Yeah,
Casey.
Yeah, they don't know anything else. Yeah, they're confused. While I'm looking at this and getting pissed off because the guy I wanted, And there's the disconnect. When you live in the bubble and all you hear is Casey, you have no clue that there was a lot better out there. You're stuck in the track of hiring again the injury-prone, older, washed up, right? I mean, here's the deal with Casey. Titan fans already know it's time to move on, okay? But because of this, right here, because of this, all they hear is the narrative, right? They are going to come to the same conclusion that the Tennessee Titan fans came to, that he is now. If Casey was taking two guys up, so you got Von Miller and Chubb, which was the game plan, that would be one thing. But he's just getting one-on-ones, and he's still not getting to the quarterback. That's why Titan fans already know his time is done. Of course, what will happen is the Bronco fans next year most likely will find out what Tennessee has already known, that was not the greatest pick.
And why was he up for a 7th-round pick? If he was this great player, why didn't they ask for a 1st, 2nd, or 3rd-round pick? All they asked was a 7th-round pick.
No. Again,
because he's washed up.
No, anything outside, nothing outside exists to them to the bubble.
So we can talk about that after the game or whatever. This is basically, we should do the pregame for the feel-gooders.
A little bit on the rant, but I guess we had to get it off the chest a little bit.
So
we're going to get into Jordan Phillips with this game because, like Jackson on our team, when he left, Jordan Phillips left the Buffalo Bills. They're not the same pass rushing
line.
Yes,
which
makes our point.
I mean, this Bills team is not this is going to be a real team that's coming to town, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the Bills are a damn good team. This isn't your trap game. This isn't your the Broncos have a okay. This game, Josh Allen is he's a different type of breed. Okay. Josh Allen can run the football. He's second in there on their team in rushing. Okay, they utilize him in a way that he's a throwing version of Cam Newton. That's who I compare him to. He's a throwing version of Cam Newton. He can actually throw the ball more than 20 yards. So compare that with how many injuries we have in the cornerbacks, and compare that they have Cole Beasley, John Brown, who's playing in this game, and you have Stefon Diggs. Their receivers are going to have a field day on us. But I'm going to piggyback off a point on what you said. I think Vic Fangio's going to do this: the bend but don't break defense. You're going to get soft zone. You're going to get soft zone. You're going to get cover 3, cover 4, and cover 6. That's what you're going to get in this
game. And the idea is, Diggs and company will be racking up yards, but we're going to fortify the red zone. Whether they can do it or not, that's another story. But that's going to be the game plan going in.
Can I ask you something? I think Vic Fangio is starting to put a blueprint out there for defenses against these high-powered offenses. And what I mean by that is you can't play man-to-man against the likes of Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, Seattle, etc., Pittsburgh, etc., because the rules are so favored to the offense nowadays. But I think Vic Fangio has figured out something, and people want to fire him.
Well, yeah. Why?
The bubble.
Yeah, that's they don't know anything. You're going outside this bubble now, okay?
And the outside the bubble, the reality of the situation is you don't. The last defense that we will ever see is the 2015 Denver Broncos defense. There will never be another defense like that again. I'm sorry, just the reality of the situation.
Well, at least not for a long time anyway.
Not for a long time, but what Vic Fangio has done is he is fine with giving up chunk plays, and then we're going to clamp down on you, and it's going to take you 3 field goals to get a touchdown. I think that's the reality of the situation where we need to come and see it. Vic Fangio is putting out a blueprint here. He's like, okay, you can do the chunk plays, but we'll clamp down from the 30-yard line in.
Yeah, don't give up the big play for a touchdown.
And that's what the Orange Crush did back in the day that you brought up a few weeks ago, which is a great point by you. And I think Vic Fangio
outside bubble.
outside the bubble. But I think Vic Fangio probably listened to this channel, and he listened to like, okay, Orange Crush defense did this back in the day. Why can't we do it? And I think Vic Fangio's put out a blueprint because, by the way, this is what people don't like to talk about. Why did the Patriots win the Super Bowl against the Rams? Because Vic Fangio put out the blueprint on how to beat the Sean McVay offense. That's what happened in that Super Bowl, because when the Bears played the Rams a few weeks prior to the Super Bowl, Vic Fangio was the one that put the blueprint on how to beat the Sean McVay defense. But you guys want to fire him because he sucks.
Like I said, I was very surprised that he even wanted to come here. And I think some of the clashes going on is the fact that Elway, I think, made certain promises on the offensive side of the football.
Exactly.
Again, this is a way of thinking outside of what you've been told outside the bubble.
Exactly.
So,
what do you think? What do you think about the Bills' offense? Because they're a top 3 offense.
Well, it's similar to the effect anyway. It's not exactly the same, but the effect is similar to Kansas City.
Yep.
Okay, it just goes about it a bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
You could say Diggs is their Tyreek Hill, so to speak, although technically he's not, but the result is ultimately the same. You're getting the same result. So the game plan will be similar to the Carolina Panthers, and it should be. I mean, here's the other thing, too. Vic Fangio is making a lot with players that really aren't, top tier. They really aren't, But again, when all you hear in the bubble is Boye, and how everybody was confused, like, how can we be talking about Boye? Can we now move on from that? Why are we wasting our time with these kind of guys? Okay, this is something before the season started I asked. I think we know that we can move on past Boye. Now, somebody was analyzing the Broncos on the national level, and they said they felt, even though the offensive line still needs more work, they thought what was interesting was that this non-starting offensive line in some ways was better than the starters in the offensive line.
Netane Moody is the one guy to mention, because Netane Moody, I thought he had an excellent game. Bringing the fact that they gave up a free runner, but that was his first NFL game, so I'm not going to take anything against the kid.
Well, actually, I don't think it was him. It was Cushenberry that did.
Okay, yeah. So when I was watching Netane Moody, and I forgot to bring this up to you, when I was like, he was moving people off the freaking line of scrimmage.
That's what we need.
Bees. That's what you need as a good offensive line. And can I just say something real quick? The quarterback isn't the end-all, be-all here. It's the offense and defensive line.
Go back to
apparently I'm stupid for saying that because I'm not a Drew Lock fan. Are you freaking kidding me? Go back and watch the videos. I've been on Drew Lock's bandwagon ever since I started this channel.
I'm the one I'm the one you could classify as not the Drew Lock fan. But this is the thing. I just want us to actually commit to something. I think Lock is good enough to at least, James Marilat, of all people, what he said, he actually said something that for once made sense. But of course, he wouldn't pin that to Elway. It's all the coaching.
Never does. Nobody does.
But he said, had Josh Allen come to the Broncos, he would have been ruined. And that statement is outside the bubble. Okay, that was an outside the bubble statement, which is true. But why is the reason? Because there's one consistent thread going all the way back, way beyond Locke. And that's why I had to tell feel-good fans. I had to say, there's a thread here. This isn't just Locke. This has been going on before Locke. Okay, we have to do what those teams do. Okay, we got to build from the foundation out. I mean, you had Bledsoe in New England. You had Alex Smith in Kansas City, and they built those teams to eventually plug a guy into. That's the model. Matter of fact, San Francisco did that.
You had Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh. And they had great offensive lines.
Yeah, And you had the same exact model with Walsh in San Francisco, putting Joe Montana in. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys wanted to get rid of Adam Peters, a guy that I want back.
Well, they don't. No. Adam Peters is out. Nobody knows about Adam Peters. He's outside that bubble of conversation. So they have no. We'll talk about Adam Peters when that time comes. I know it'll.
Yes. Okay,
we're just going to go over some of these people's heads because again, it's outside that bubble.
Yeah. So you wanted to talk about the Jordan Phillips thing in Buffalo, how it correlates to Jordan Phillips, the guy that you wanted and the guy that should have been a Denver Bronco.
Well, yeah. Why nobody was? Well, again, nobody out. It all was Casey. That's all anybody knows. They don't know anything outside that. Jordan Phillips right now is in Arizona, playing lights out, not injured.
Oh, shocker.
Yeah, shocker. Okay. And he's the guy that moves that pocket inside. Okay. So Buffalo now doesn't have that. And I also believe that it's still good. They're still a good, solid unit, but they don't have that over-the-top piece they once had. No. Now, I believe that the Broncos offense can run on this team. I believe offensively you're not changing what you're doing, what you did with Carolina. You do to the Buffalo Bills. No, you better not. You better not start getting Shurmur cute.
You better not do your 12 personnel 3 wide receiver sets or 11 personnel 3. If you start doing that, oh God, you're gonna get a lot killed.
Yeah, no, they don't. Yeah, and again, this goes back to Matthew Stafford. Come on, that's clown show stuff. Now, Matthew Stafford it would be great. You could get him if you had an offensive line that could protect like the old Patriots offensive line. Tom Brady's shirt never got dirty. Stafford, when he's healthy, yeah, he's great, but he's never healthy because the guy's like a porcelain doll. That's why it's clown talk.
He would never come to Denver.
No.
I mean, okay, ladies and gentlemen, stop thinking that these players are going to come to Denver playing in Elway, okay? It's just not going to happen. If I wanted Jack Conklin, okay, the number one guy I did too. Jack Conklin. I wanted Jack Conklin from Tennessee, the right tackle, but you guys are so in your little bubble, hot tub time machine, that you guys can't relate to the fact that you guys can't look a good play. It's not hard to figure out who is better than this player. It's an eye test thing that happens on a weekly basis. You can watch the film. You can watch the games. You can clearly see who's better than who. And this Buffalo's team is going to whoop our ass. It's just the reality of the situation here. And I think this game is going to I think that you're going to see a lot of what you saw from Carolina. You're going to see a lot what you saw against Miami. I think that this can be a good type of Miami game. But the reality of the situation is this team isn't Miami. I mean, this team is a perennial Super Bowl team here. Okay, we can talk about
they're an up and coming. They're definitely an up and coming.
Yeah,
they're right there with the pack.
Yes, and they don't have Jordan Phillips. If they have a guy named Jeffrey Simmons Jr., who's an absolute stud.
Because what are they doing? Wait a minute. Why do they have him? Because what are they doing with player personnel?
They're drafting they're drafting smart, and they're getting
they're building on these things.
Just like the 49ers did. Why did they go after 5 defensive linemen in the first round for 5 years? Because they knew how to build a team.
And even as depleted as they are, they're still a force to be reckoned with. Why is that?
We got to go get Mike Shanahan as offensive coordinator. Get out of here with that crap, dude.
We need to unbury John Ralston. But, here's the thing. You're going to see end of rounds. You're going to see, I think, end of rounds because I pointed out we don't have the linebacking that we need. We need that Ravens type linebacking.
We do. We have Josie Jewell.
Josie Jewell.
Alexander Johnson. By the way, I watched that play over and over again. That play where Teddy Bridgewater got in the end zone. What was he doing? The safety had that receiver over the top for him. He said, I should run with him.
Explain to people out there who don't know anything outside the bubble. Explain to them what the All-22 is. Just explain to them what that.
All-22, which I'm fortunate to have. The All-22 is coaches' film. The coaches use it to critique players. Pro Football Focus, which I don't like at all. They're just a clown thing. But they use it. All these other platforms use it. You know, the truth tellers like
Cody Rourke.
Cody Rourke uses it. Cecil Lammy, to a point, uses it. All these other people, but I'm fortunate to have it. Why do you think I'm not always right? But me and you, even when you watch, you don't have all 22. You basically what you put out there is basically the stuff that I see as well. So you don't have to have the all 22 to be a smart, be this all world film breakdown person. Okay. You just have to have some common sense, and it's not rocket science. And by the way, what did I say about Justin Simmons? I mean, you better not pay this guy over $12 million a year. You better not pay him $12 million.
No, I agree. Yes, yeah. You know what? Even the bubble has discussed that too. That he shouldn't be overpaid. He's not good enough to. He's not Palomalo. Good.
Yeah, he's not your transcendent safety.
No.
He's not. He's
not
a good player, but he's an inconsistent player.
Yeah. Yes. And I can't imagine him getting, like Steve Atwater type.
He better not.
Yeah. So, I mean, by anybody in the league, but will Elway be dumb enough to do that?
And the Broncos defense today, there's gonna be barely any pass rush because they have a pretty good offensive line. Oh, shocker! They have a good offensive line because they.
Well, I was watching the Bills. I was watching how they took care of the. This is what's interesting. I watched the Bills, and I was watching how they took care of the pass rush by the Steelers, and I was thinking to myself, why did it take Shurmur weeks to figure out what they figured out by halftime? Because what they did is they added tight ends into their offensive lineup.
Yes.
I just don't understand. I mean, all these people Shurmur.
Oh, go vertical, 3 wide receiver set, the Michael souped-up version.
Yeah, they don't. They definitely don't know about the Raiders of the '90s. I guess I am guilty of talking about the Raiders of the '90s because that's what we see with this Mike McCoy 2.0 thing. But what I'm saying is, it only took them a half to put in key offensive linemen, keeping up back to keep their quarterbacks back, to have their quarter. These are the key things. Matter of fact, the National was saying the same thing. They were saying, they finally learned to give Locke some additional pickup, free runner pickup in the backfield. Now I showed video of that. That's what makes us different. I'm not just saying things. I'm just trying to, show. And you know what really I think pisses off people is because when you hear the same narrative inside the bubble and you're actually showed video evidence that contradicts the bubble, it just agitates them because they can't, it's like the computer that's in reboot mode. I mean, it's just spinning, the color wheel spinning.
Yeah, it's just like a freaking Ferris wheel. It goes around. Oh man, it's so beautiful. Oh, John Elway, you're the best. Oh, Josie Jewell, Kareem Jackson. Oh my gosh, you guys are the best.
Corey Littleton? What?
Yeah,
what?
Who's that? Who's balling out at the Raiders, by the way? Can I just say this real quick to the people that say I'm not a Drew Lock fan real quick? Okay. Can I just say this? I think that Drew Lock and I don't want to go too much into this because I don't always like talking about the quarterback, but I want to talk about his progression the last 3 games besides the Saints game because that was just stupid. I think that what you've seen these last 3 games from Drew Lock, I think that the game, when I'm watching the film, he's not locking in a one read lately. And I think the game is starting to slow down a little bit for him. He's still having those mechanical issues like you talked about with the swing pass to Judy, etc. But I think you are starting to see the game slow down for him. I think that is one thing that we need to talk about because that pass to Hamler, that it wasn't the first touchdown. That second pass, he looked off the safety. He looked off the safety, and it was a beautiful dime right in the pocket. He wouldn't have done that 5-6 weeks ago. He would have just threw it up off of his back foot and threw it up there. We have to talk about how he, as a leader of this team, he's a leader of this team. We have to talk about his progression these last 3 games. And I think I think, not to be toot my own horn, but I said that you have to put the strengths, you have to work with the strengths a lot. The play action.
Well, you have to do that with any quarterback.
Well, exactly. And this isn't the Pat Shurmur offense. This is the Mike Munchak offense, which me and you're the first one that brought it up. This is the Mike Munchak offense.
What I think is happening, because like the touchdown to Hamler, I think what you're having is that the Munchak offense is setting up the Shurmur offense.
The Mike Munchak effect.
The Mike Munchak effect. It's setting up the Shurmur offense. Keep going on about Drew Lock, because I got something to say too, but keep going.
I think that his footwork is starting to get better. Yes, he still has those mechanical issues, but that pickup. Okay, so you brought up the point where Melvin Gordon actually threw a block. It's rare to see Melvin Gordon throw a block. It was a 3rd down and 3, whatever, and he steps in the pocket and he throws it. He wouldn't have done that 5, 6, 7 weeks ago. Okay, so
I made it a key point to show that.
Yeah, and I think that he has taken it upon himself, and this is what I love about Drew Lock, is that he's very critical of himself, but I think that he takes what he has failed with, and he works on it, and that's what I love about Drew Lock. It's not because I think he's going to be Patrick Mahomes. I just want him to be Drew Lock. He doesn't need to be these quarterbacks that are having so much success. He needs to be Drew Lock, nothing else. Just be your own dude. He can win Super Bowls in this league, but it's not all about the quarterback. So this is what I'm going to end it with. It's not all about the quarterback. You have to have a good offensive line and a good defensive line in front of you. Why do you think that the Chiefs are 11-1 or 12-1? Why do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers are 11-2? Why do you think that the Buffalo Bills are 10-3? Quarterback. And I think that Drew Lock took something that you said. You remember a few weeks ago against the Raider game where you criticized him with the rolling out and he hopped up like a bunny and threw it?
God.
But lately he's been opening up his hips, and he's been, he hasn't been hopping. He opened up his hips, bam, just a beautiful little touch pass to Nick Vannett for first down on that one play. So I think that he's starting to get in rhythm a little bit.
I think it was Judy, but yeah, okay. But regardless, yes, regardless.
You can go ahead.
Okay, let's see if I got another prop. I don't. So anyway, for me, this whole quarterback thing is this right here. All we're hearing about is Drew Lock, the bubble. Okay, I'm gonna take us outside of the bubble now. For me, as far as the Denver Broncos is concerned, this is a problem that really is beyond the scope of the quarterback. What the conversation, in my opinion, right now has to be, because it's like the baby. I can't talk about the baby running when it's still crawling.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, it's how does the organization build the offensive schematics around a quarterback? Mm-hmm. That has, to me, more merit right now. Are we putting together the building blocks? Okay, offensive schematics. Are we putting those offensive schematics together that will help this guy walk upstairs? Or any quarterback? Are we that organization? Okay. Like Marilat said correctly, the one thing he said is that are we going to kill another quarterback? Because we can't seem to match the system with the quarterback's talent, no matter who the quarterback is. I mean, take a look at the Titans right now with their quarterback. I mean, that guy isn't getting anybody excited, but he gets the job done. And you got to give the Titans credit because they're putting together a system that works. It's hard to beat this guy because he's deadly accurate, but they're not asking him to beat Mahomes. I'm just saying that off to the side because I think what we really should be talking about is, are we giving this quarterback what he needs to succeed. That's the first thing.
To make it back off that point real quick, there's two things. One, the Titans don't have an owner, so they can't, we can't use the same excuse, oh, we don't have an owner, blah, 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 blah. Okay? We all know who's ruined this team, and it's John Elway. Okay?
Well, we know who the head coach really is. But they'll never say it. They talk about it a lot, especially Village Idiot, D-Mac.
Yeah.
But they'll never come to say that who really is the head coach of this team.
Yes. And number two, the whole building around the quarterback, I think that the last three games besides the Titans game, I think that those are building blocks that you can take. Dolphins, Kansas City, and Carolina. I think those are three games where I think the Mike Munchak effect has helped Drew Lock. So sorry about that. You can go ahead.
Well, to me, that's what this really is about. It has, to me, Lock is just a side note for me. To me, can this organization actually show you picked this guy, right? You picked him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All of you who hate Lock, well, then you need to look at Elway. Okay, if you really hate Lock and you want to bring in whoever it is that you want to bring in, what about the guy that picked your guy you hate? Okay, none of you are holding him accountable.
I don't want.
Well, but I don't want to hear from these people that hate Lock. You can hate Lock, but you better say something about Elway. Go ahead.
They're starting to claim the praises for Cam Newton now.
The praises of Cam Newton?
Yeah, they want Cam Newton.
Okay, here's the thing. Have they learned anything? I mean, have they not learned anything?
Dude, I do not want Cam Newton.
Here's the thing, too. I want Elway out of here because I'm sick and tired of being that team that has to go through retread quarterbacks.
Thank you.
We can't be that team that can take your Justin Herbert that, is God status now and make him God status because we put him in the best possible situations to win. No, we got to beg and plead for retreads. What the hell is Cam Newton going to do here, especially on an offensive line that has free runners? Patting the ball.
And the whole, I want to talk about the John Elway thing real quick. I don't want John Elway because there's a news article every week that's stupid, number one. Number two, we're a clown show. Nobody respects us anymore. And number three, I want that respectability back in Denver because Denver used to be respected as one of the best organizations in football. And look who ruined it. Okay? Look who freaking ruined it. It wasn't Vic Fangio. It wasn't Gary Kubiak. It wasn't Vance Joseph. It wasn't the head coaches.
Wasn't Wade
Phillips. It's the guy who has multiple titles as head coach, GM, player personnel operation. That's an owner. That's four as a general manager. Oh, but you feel good fans. You and your little bubble. Oh, John Elway. My poster. You can't disrespect him. My poster's right here.
I will love the day if Tom Brady ends up in this situation and ruins the Patriots. Anyway, that's off topic. But, yes. So, for me, I want to see Locke progress. And, we also, one thing going for Locke, though, in what we're saying is that Elway has an ego. And I tell all the people that hate Locke, I'm like, okay, you're going to get Locke because John Elway has an ego. And every time Locke does well, it's going to bolster Elway's ego. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have Locke until an owner says no. 2022, if an owner comes in and decides that's the way they're going to go, that's going to be. I want to do we're going to do some different shows on right when the season ends, but I want to do a show on what Beth Bolin said, because of all the unlikely places that some common sense actually came through. Unlikely places, it came from her about ending this clown show, because I want to do something on. I don't want this trust to have any part of the Broncos moving forward. I don't want Elway having any. All these clowns that are there in the trust. Mm-hmm. I want them to have no part of the team moving forward.
Well, You know what? I think that we also I think that we also have to bring up the fact that, I get it, the feel-good fans are consumed to one little bubble, but I think we also have to talk about how their ineptitude has made John Elway get away with this crap. We don't.
Yes, that's what happened with Shanahan. But we had Pat Bowlen to intervene.
Yes, me and you are probably, the only people out there that, are calling for John Elway's job. I don't see anybody else calling for their job because they have their little sponsors.
They are out there. We're the only platform
Platform-wise, we don't have ads. We don't have commercials. We do this on our free time. We don't get paid for this. We don't put bullshit on your front door. So all you people that want to put the thumbs down and all that stupid crap, I just want you to know: are you fine with doing 10-6 and 8-8 and barely squeaking into the playoffs and getting blown out in the first round? I don't want that. I want to be the best of the best. I want to be the top team in the AFC, the top team in the NFL. People that fear us every time we go into their stadium, and a team that's freaking respected. That's why.
You got to go get Cam Newton. Cam Newton will do that,
We got to keep Boye around. We have to run this thing back. Oh my God.
Don't say anything outside this bubble. If you say anything outside that bubble, you hate the Broncos.
Yeah, you're a Chief fan. How the hell am I a Chief fan, by the way? You freaking kidding me? Why am I wasting my breath on the Chiefs? No, I'm actually praising them because of their freaking. They knew how to build an NFL team.
Well, that's it. Let's take a look at what works. Let's take a look at what works. Okay, there's no shame in that. Take a look at what works. Take a look at what we are not doing right. The bubble will not discuss that ever, and it starts at the front office.
Nobody will bring that up. Oh, John Elway. Oh, I'm entranced. Oh no. Oh, John Elway.
So I'm not into predicting scores, but this is what I'm going to say is if the Broncos can run basically the same game plan they ran with Carolina, that will go a long way for them. We know that we're going to see soft zone, bend don't break.
Yep.
And it's all going to come down to the red zone for the Broncos. What they can do, can they keep that red zone, number one seed red zone team? Can they keep that up? That's going to be the difference maker in this game.
I think what you're going to see. I think that what you're going to see from the defense is the cover 3, cover 4, and cover 6. That's basically a soft shell bend don't break defense, like he said in his tapes the other day, his game film. And I think from the offense, I just really hope that they stick with this game plan because it seems to help out the whole offense. It's just not one position group. It seems to help out the whole offense. I think the whole offense is more energized of this game plan. I think the whole offense fits this game plan a lot better than the 11. What a shocker, by the way. Me and you've been clamoring for this for weeks.
No, I mean, I'm going to toot my horn when it comes time to. Didn't we open the season basically saying this? It wasn't these guys. These guys didn't say that.
Yeah, I was tooting my own horn to pull the guards to help out the run game. You were the one that was talking about how we shouldn't be running the 3 wide receiver sets. We should be basically running off of play action and running the football smarter, not harder, by the way.
Smarter, not harder. Yeah.
And look what happened.
Well,
we started putting up more than 16 points a game.
And you can go vertical under that blueprint.
What a shocker. Yeah, we went vertical 3 times in that game with Judy, with Hamler, and Patrick. And look what happened. Oh, my God. Hamler had 2 touchdowns. Judy got his touches. And Patrick.
But the question is, why did it work? Why did it work? That's what's
the running game.
Asking those questions is outside that.
And I'm going to answer that question because you got lock and rhythm with the short passing game and the screen passes, and you ran the football effectively.
Yeah,
what a shocker.
It wasn't just about dropping back and 40 pass. Why did they ever think that was going to work? Why did Shurmur ever think that was going to work?
Because Elway told them.
Because it came from the top. It came from the top.
But that won't be brought up. You're going outside the bubble. You're going outside the bubble. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Yeah, what did I see? I saw Kansas City. That's all I saw. I just saw Kansas. You are not Kansas City.
No, you don't have the player personnel to keep up with Kansas City. That's why you haven't won a game there since 20. You haven't beat them since 2015.
No.
A decade.
No.
Almost a decade.
Yeah, you got to start thinking outside the bubble if you're going to beat these teams. I'm just telling you that right now. So with that, you want to wrap it up?
Sure.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's all I have to say. I'll text you during the game, and hopefully we keep the same game plan.
Yeah. It's all going to ride on that. That's for sure.
Yep. All right.
All right. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Take care.